What's up everybody, I am Mongoose, you are awesome, and Core has released their proof of concept for the battle systems. I had to watch this one a few times and still feel like I missed some things, so I'm going to shoot for a bit more informative instead of yelling and cursing my way through this video. But let's start out with some yelling and cursing. The video began with Sylphin responding to the haters on Reddit, however he was very calm and professional about it. He really is a nice guy after all, so I thought I could be his anger translator much like the Key and Peele bit.
Yeah, proof of concept pre-alpha footage. We have to focus on functionality first.
Hey motherfuckers, get my goddamn name out your mouth and stop focusing on the petty shit. Ain't nobody gonna give a rat's ass about how Howitzer's fucking rocket looks if the shit don't work in the first place. Y'all dipshits wanna look at the fucking leaves on the trees while we're trying to plant an entire goddamn forest. So shut your fucking cock holsters, keep your dick skinners off your keyboards, and let us handle our motherfucking business. On to the info. They're planning to reintroduce physical versus energy damage. If you never played when that was a thing, basically the hero pool was divided into two groups. Let's take the carries for example. Twin Blast and Sparrow did physical damage while Murdoch and Grim did energy damage. That was important because there were cards that specifically applied armor to the various types of damage. You wanted to draft a team that had a good mix of the two types of damage so that the enemy team couldn't counter it. Say you have a team that only deals energy damage. Well, the opposing team could just build a bunch of energy armor and roll the fuck over you late game. It's the main reason I started playing Richter. I wanted a tank in my pocket that could deal energy damage if needed. I'm on the fence with this. Hindsight tells me that it was a cool mechanic. However, I also know that I sucked big fat donkey balls and had a toddler's understanding of the game in Legacy, so there may have been bigger problems with this than I know of. I do know that Epic thought it was a bad system and got rid of it. Hopefully Metabuff can implement it in a way that works. They've announced that scaling will more closely coincide with the hero's role, meaning that, for example, a tank's armor will scale harder than attack damage. This will cement the roles a little better. I don't particularly care for this. It takes an element of fun out of the game and prevents creative players from coming up with new ways to play heroes. It's an effort to save us from ourselves really, and I would prefer that the options remain open. Even if it means I have to deal with the occasional attack speed steel or full armor tank Seraph or some dumb shit like that. They're also reintroducing passives to the heroes. When Paragon started, each hero had a unique passive on top of their basic kit. I think this is a good route to take. Mastering the use of the passives is a way to separate the good players from the great. I'm giving them 2 thumbs way up on this one. Looks like they're going to be changing the way some abilities work, which is cool. Shit that worked or didn't work on Monolith won't translate to a bigger map, so it's nice to see that they're taking that into consideration. Twin Blast Ultimate will interact with his passive giving him stacks of movement speed as he lands shots and abilities, then his ultimate allowing him to convert the movement speed into attack speed. That's a neato concept that will provide some meaningful decisions in your gameplay. Do you want to move faster or go all in with attack speed? We've also already seen that Muriel can ult structures, and they changed up Howie's ult so that the initial rocket barrage hits quick, then he launches into the air for the final nuke. They've continued to tailor the gameplay to the larger map by taking things like movement speed, tower distances, and ability ranges into consideration. Cool stuff and a welcome change, I think. Now we get to ability focuses. This is basically a questing talent like you would find in Heroes of the Storm. You'll pick a focus at the start of the game and you'll be able to unlock ability enhancements as you progress by completing some prerequisites. I have found that this is a really good system that serves to reward skilled players. The better you are at a hero, the better you'll be at unlocking these enhanced abilities. Each hero will have 2 that you could choose from at the start of the game, so that also introduces a meaningful decision that will separate the wheat from the chaff. The more experience you have, the more obvious it will be if you'll need to enhance a movement or damage ability. On to core powers. You can think of these as relics or battle spells from other MOBAs. You pick one at the start of the game to either shore up your weaknesses or enhance your strengths. They haven't released what any of these core powers are, but I think you could probably expect stuff like a blink, a shield, movement speed, and attack speed buffs, that kind of thing. I know these don't always work out in other games, Smite, but I like them here as long as they can keep them balanced. Examples of when you may use these would be like maybe if you want to play Sparrow but you don't want to get shit on by Chimera for the first half of the game, you can pick up a blink as your core power and not have to spend gold on it. Or if you're playing an all-in hero like Chimera, maybe a shield would come in handy to allow you to stick to somebody longer and regen health while they plink away at your shield. They're providing ways to differentiate the way you play a hero as opposed to how someone else would. When I first watched the latest video, I didn't much care for it, but the more thought I put into it, the more I realized that they're introducing multiple elements that provide for meaningful decisions. Meaningful decisions not only take an individual from good to great, but it's what separates a good game from a great game. All of this is open for testing and probably won't make it into the final product, however, it's the overall intentions behind these elements that continues to give me faith in the development team at Metabuff. That's all for now. If you want updates on all of the post-Paragon third-person MOBAs, check out For the Minions, a weekly update I'll be doing with Arg the Pirate and Mandy Mal. Mangoo!